It's okay. You have a lot of balls in the air.
Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing We Give Thanks, number 1010, in the teal hymnal. And the words, of course, are on the screen. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for our gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for our gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for our gathered here and those far away, for the love we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Please be seated.
Welcome to this place where equity and justice transcend mere dreams, where they are the air we breathe.
Enter this sanctuary, all who yearn for respite from a world rife with scarcity and inequity, rife with the relentless shackles of privilege and bias.
Come embrace this space, this refuge. Be embraced by this place, this refuge where scarcity and disparity dissolve into we together, crafting a place where the breath of life is equity and justice, cherished, manifested, and sustained.
May this flame cast its light toward better days, reminding us that the future is not simply a place we are going, but a place we are creating. The path of new possibilities will not be found, but made.
The justice we long for does not sit at the end of that inevitable arc. It lies in the bending that is ours to do.
A new world is waiting to be built, friends. May our time together light the way.
So welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, to what I hope will be a fun service for all of you. The grown-ups in the 9 o'clock service have a blast. They can cover their pillows though. And so we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF as we like to say. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett. I'm the lead minister here, and joined with me on the chancel, this space. I learned today that some people didn't know that this space is known as the chancel. But joining me on the chancel throughout the service is Reverend Jim Lewis, who is our Minister of Lifespan Faith Development and Pastoral Care. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender identities, whomever you love, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey or in your quest for truth and meaning and liberation, we welcome you here in the Lovett community. Is my microphone on? Because it sounds like it's not.
Little things to check up on. And sometimes we double check our packs too. Replacing battery.
Here we are. What are we doing? Batteries? No, King, we still need me to have batteries for later in the service. I'll finish the welcome. I always say that it takes a village. We are indeed a village. This is King. So where was I? Whoever you are, it was in that piece, right?
Whether or not your microphone pack has a battery in it, you are welcome here.
Yes, take it. This is now all right. Where was I?
Do you want your headset back on?
My headset?
Do you want me to put this
Okay,
back
yeah,
on? Yeah,
thank
you keep going.
Okay.
There you go.
I also help them too from time to time. Okay. If you're visiting with us today, for the first time, for the second time, for any time, if you're visiting with us today, we would love it if you would rise in body or spirit so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Yay. Thank you. It's so good to see all y'all. I was with some ministers yesterday who are not all from the South, and I got great pleasure out of saying, all y'all. And anyway, it's a thing we know it's a thing, but they didn't know it was a thing, so it was good. I got a center. Anyway, for those of you online, if you would put your name in the chat, if that's available to you, you too will get an ERUUF welcome, maybe without as much chaos in your space as I'm creating in this one. And for those of you who are visiting, for all of the parents, I think some of you know that the children will remain here in the service. This is a multi-generational service, and so the children, the youth, everybody will remain together today. And I'll tell you something about this service. Well, first of all, Reverend Jim challenged the other ministers and said, I shouldn't be the only person doing multi-gen services. You all need to do them too. And I was like, you are absolutely right. So this is my stab at a multi-gen service, and I went overboard as I often do. But I had fun the first service, so hopefully the kids will have fun. I have Reverend Jim here to keep me in line in case I don't do what I need to do. So anyway, this is a multi-gen service. I also wanted to explain to you how we're dressed today. So as ministers, as clergy, when we go out into the public square to do our work in terms of justice, we show up in colors. During the pandemic, I actually sat in eviction court for housing with my collar on, and there were judges, I was told, who did not evict some people because I was sitting there in that court wearing a collar. So we do that. We show up in spaces wearing our collars for that reason. And it's not just UUs, but most clergy will do that, will show up. I was actually on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, I was at the state legislature also wearing my collar. So anyway, I don't need applause for that. It's just what we do. And this stole is actually a replication of our Side with Love t-shirts that we wear as UUs. We are known for those t-shirts. Those t-shirts, when we show up in those t-shirts, people say the Unitarian Universalists are here. Or I would like to say in the house, but sometimes we're outside. But the clergy dress like this. We will have our collars on and our stoles on because other ministers will have their stoles on, so we wear our stoles as well so that people know that we're representing Unitarian Universalism. So that's why we're dressed the way we are today, and now I get to make one big announcement. I'll make it more than once, and I just want to say take your time, but any child who is here, who wants to participate in this service, we invite you right now to come on down to the chancel floor. Come on down. You can come on. And parents, some of you might need to come down with your kiddos, but come on down. Come on down. We made it really comfy for you.
So, because we do want you to be here, and you might have some wiggles, and just, find a place to be so we're not going back and forth. But yes, do get situated, maybe have some wiggles. And parents are welcome to come down too if you'd like.
And parents, if you note that your kiddo is having trouble or whatever, please come on down and help them out and be with them just in case that's needed.
Can I share this pillow
And
with
so,
somebody back here?
Today is Justice Sunday. Our first Sunday of the month is always Justice Sunday. And here to speak on behalf of our Justice Ministry is Evelyn, Evelyn Studer, who represents our Pride Plus Action Group for Justice.
So we have some slides here. Here we go. So the Pride Plus Action Group is a group of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, agender, and allies who are part of the ERUUF community. Next slide. So this is our representation at Durham Pride. And as you'll note, we've had ERUUF ministers, staff, and members participate. This is Durham Pride 2022. Next slide. We spread the word about our inclusive religious community because even though we know we're here, there's still a whole lot of people who don't know that supportive religious communities exist for LGBTQ people. Next slide. Now, there's an opportunity coming up that I'm really excited to tell you about. We have the Transgender Inclusion course. This is in partnership with the multicultural team, and we're offering a new session of the program starting in April. It was offered in 2021 and 2022, and some people liked it so much they took it twice. And ERUUFians who didn't take it have been requesting a new session with discussion. Now, it's important to note that the course videos are always available online. Next slide. This is an opportunity to learn. The course offers a deep exploration of what it means to create a beloved community, including going back to the words of Martin Luther King, Jr. It talks about how gender norms impact our congregation's culture and how a culture shift makes it possible to live into full inclusion. Next slide. The benefits of taking the course, this is what we've been hearing from people who took it. They say they have a better understanding of transgender and non-binary members of our congregation, of people in their family, friends, and coworkers. Also, it's a good opportunity to reflect on our own experiences, no matter who we are, with how gender expectations have impacted our life. And it's a greater understanding of how to create a culture shift. Next slide. These cultural icebergs are an example of how concepts are presented in a relatable fashion. This just happens to be dominant culture, trans culture, and our culture. And this is very helpful because it makes it more of a fun thing to learn. Next slide. So the path towards justice continues. There's still a long road ahead, and a supportive community is vital to sustain the journey. Please consider joining us.
Thank you, Evelyn. So now, you can hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. You can hear me. They said they could hear me. So. Turn and greet somebody next to you or around the room. Hi, everybody. How are you? Good morning. I like your boots. Hello. Hi. It's good to see you. I like your shirt and I like your boots. Hi. What's your name? Adam? Nice to meet you, Adam. I like your jacket and your shirt. Happy Sunday.
Hey, please rise and embody your spirit. I think you did, and then you sat. But please rise and embody your spirit and join me in singing hymn number 170 in the Great Hymnal, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. And the
You can
lyrics,
stay
of course,
seated
are
if
on
you
the
want
screen.
to.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are all in this together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are all in this together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Please be seated.
Okay. Okay, kids. I have some questions for you, and maybe you can help me answer them. So, and this is for you grown-up kiddos out there too. So, be thinking about this because I'm going to ask you for your responses as well. So, when was the first time any of you recall that something was not fair? Can you give us an example of something? Yes.
Like on Black History Day,
So how is that not fair?
like the white people, like in the black and that white people were treated fine.
Okay, so Benjamin said black history and that the white people were treated, the black people weren't treated nice and the white people were treated fine. Is that, I got that right, Benjamin?
No.
Nope.
It was the white people were treated good and the black people were treated bad.
The white people were treated good and the black people were treated bad. Who has another example? Yes.
So, one time at school, I thought something wasn't fair because my friend, well, he went half of the course that we were supposed to go at the time.
He went half of the course?
Yes, that we were supposed to go to the gate, and he went to the middle of the basketball court.
Okay, so he didn't go through the gate with you. He went to the middle of the basketball court?
Yes, and that
It wasn't fair to you. Okay, so you had to go and he got to stay and play basketball. Is that the thing that wasn't fair?
got in the middle of the basketball court when we were playing away, and we were supposed to go to the fence.
Oh, I get it. He wasn't following the rules.
There you go.
Okay, that's right.
We
That
got it.
could not feel fair.
Because he got to run back home.
Okay,
I had to run back late.
okay. He got to run back early and you had to run back late because he didn't follow the rules. Okay, and you lost. Yeah, it was the way you lost, right? Okay. Grown-ups, when is the time, the first time that you can recall, because what's wonderful about kids is they have this inherent sense of what's fair and what's not fair. And so we all have been through that. And so is there a time that you can think of that, the earliest time that you can think of that was personally not fair, and maybe the earliest time you noticed something in the world not being fair? Oh, this is not a grown-up, but yes.
So there was once someone who wanted to build a wall separating separating the world from us, and that wasn't really fair. So
The wall separating?
so you know how so if I can remember correctly, we kind of protested by holding up signs that said phrases like "build bridges, not walls."
Oh.
Okay, can you repeat what he said?
So he was mentioning about, was it the building of the wall to separate countries? And then the protesting with the signs, like you said, that said build bridges, not walls?
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
that.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Pam,
I remember when I was in the third grade, and I was so much looking forward to being part of the band, and they didn't allow girls to play drums.
oh, wow. Wow. Hits. Over here, let's pick somebody on this side. Is
Okay,
there, did you have somebody else? I want to make
Here and then
sure.
over there.
Lily has her hands up too, so we want to get Lily.
Did you want people to stand up?
Yes, go. Yes, stand. That would
Okay.
be great.
So my name is Cara Andrade, and I'm originally from Guatemala, and I grew up in a United Fruit Company banana plantation, and I think the first time I realized that people got different kinds of bananas was when I got to the United States, and I saw the perfect bananas that were being exported from Guatemala with our stickers that my mom would put on. And I never saw those perfect bananas because they stayed in Guatemala. So the only ones I ate when I was in Guatemala were the bruised little bananas with no stickers on them. So now I was like, oh, there are people that eat perfect bananas.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Lily Searles is back here, and that we'll take that for now. Oh, you can do that, King. King's got Lily.
King's got it.
Okay. So when I was a kid, probably about 6 years old, my adult cousin who was visiting from out of town took my older sister and me to an ice cream shop for ice cream cones. And we sat down to eat our ice cream cones, and then the owner of the shop came and told us that we had to get up and leave because we were black, whereas the white people, of course, could stay there and eat their ice cream.
Wow.
So.
Yes, more hisses. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that, Lily. So this month we're focusing, all of us, both here in service, in our religious exploration classes, and also in our small group ministry on justice and equity. And so justice, the word justice and the word equity are very, very powerful words. And first I want to find out among you kiddos, do any of you have a definition, or can you tell us what justice means? Maybe somebody who hasn't spoken yet? What justice means? Yes. Mike.
Worse for them just because of who they are.
Okay, say that again. We didn't get it all.
So if it's like fair for everybody and like it's not just like different for one person and like worse for them just because of who they are.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so it's fair for the majority of the people, but not fair for everybody. And somebody is not getting the same thing just because of who they are. Anybody else down here? Yes. Let him give you the microphone.
Get put right.
I'm sorry?
Justice is when things get put right.
What did he say?
When things get put right.
Justice is when things get put right. Wow. The wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. Older kiddos. There's somebody all the way over there. King, can you get this person? King is going to get you a microphone. Stand up if you can. Wait, the microphone's coming to you.
So justice is when everything is fair.
That's right. Thank you so much. One more out here. A definition of justice? Maybe one of the grown-ups? Okay, well, come on, grown-ups. I know. You are you-yous after all. Pam has one.
So justice is when everything is right for everybody. It's also that if somebody does something that is really bad, that is really harmful to other people, that there are consequences for that person to make them change their behavior.
Okay, thank you, Pam. So justice and equity are actually powerful words that have to do with our relationships. And most of you said that. You refer to people, but it's not just with people, it's also with our relationship with the earth, with our relationship with all beings. That means animals and insects and even the organisms that are so small we can't see them, and creatures that live in the oceans and the seas. So they need justice as well in a way, because we can bring harm to them. So justice is definitely, when we're thinking about what everybody or everything needs, including our earth. Does anyone have a definition for equity? Now that's sometimes a trickier word to define. We have someone right here. Another wise one from the chancel floor.
Imagine an apple tree and everybody's trying to pick apples from it. Everybody can reach the tree, but what it is everybody gets apples. Everybody picks apples from the tree, and if someone is short, like me, gets something to step up to get apples, basically.
Okay. Right, so you're saying that everybody gets to pick apples from an apple tree, but when someone is short like you, that's how you defined yourself, that you might need something extra in order to get those apples.
It's a metaphor, yeah.
Yeah? What is?
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
It is. It is a metaphor.
Thank you so much. Wow, I'm so excited. See, this is what got me in trouble last service, but it was grown-ups, but now it's the kids. But we had one child there who was just blowing my mind. But anyway, let's see is there another, this is like I said, our wisdom from the chancel floor. Okay, here's a grown-up standing up here.
Hi, I'm Patty, she, her. If you're a parent and you have kids and they're always talking about what's fair and what's not fair and who gets to stay up later. So, if you have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, they don't necessarily go to bed at the same time, but they have equity, which means they go to bed at the appropriate time for their age. And when the 10-year-old gets to be 12, he'll go to sleep at the same time as the 12-year-old.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's a practical definition of equity. So I'm going to tell you how we're using these words today. So when we talk about justice, what we mean is that everyone has the resources they need, and right now we're going to focus on people, that everyone has the resources they need to be safe, not only from experiences of harm, but also to be safe in terms of having shelter, having food, and having clean water as well. So those are all different ways that people would be safe, and also that they have access to the resources they need to be well in their bodies. Whatever it is that they need to be well in their bodies, also in their minds, and also in their inner life. And sometimes when we are not well or have access to what we need in order to be well, it just causes a cascade of injustices that we can end up experiencing, and that's what happens to a lot of people. So we also, in terms of justice, we want to know that people have the opportunity to experience joy, however they define joy, and ultimately that they have the opportunity to be free. And what we mean by that is that they can live into the truth of who they really are as they define themselves, not as how we define them, but as they define themselves. So justice also is not the same as creating comfort. So sometimes we can confuse the two. We can think that we are saying someone needs justice, and actually what we're talking about is being comfortable. And sometimes, a lot of times, comfort can have some consequences for people that we're not thinking about. If we're only focused on our own comfort and providing comfort for somebody, there might be some consequence that someone else is facing. I love your metaphor of the bananas. We have this comfort of these perfect bananas in this country, not knowing that in Guatemala, where the bananas that we eat come from, people are eating bananas in Guatemala, but very different than ours, and there's an injustice or a lack of equity there when that happens. With the fact that that is happening, would you say that is happening still? Yeah. Equity is about the distinction between equality and equity. And so sometimes people think that in order for us to have justice, everybody must get the exact same thing. So what I want to do is to illustrate how equity works. And what is your name? Ellis, would you like to be in this little volunteer thing that we're about to do around equity? And I chose you because you named something that sounded very much like the illustration we want to make. Would you like to be in it? You don't have to, but I wanted to ask you. Nope? Yes? Come on over. No. No. Okay. I need 2 volunteers from this floor. Okay. All right. Benjamin and what's your name? Lucy. Come on up. And then I have a grown-up volunteer over here that I actually handpicked because I needed this grown-up. I'm relying on this grown-up volunteer to do certain things. So here's our story that we're going to act out. Come over here with me. So, and this is a story that is not only an example of equity, but it's also a big leap of the imagination, okay? So, the leap of the imagination is that all of these are fruit trees, all right? This actually is a version of a fig tree, and so our grown-up is gonna be here at the fig tree. Barb will be at the fig tree. Benjamin will be at this is an apple tree. And this one, come on over here. This one is what kind of citrus fruit do you like? Orange tree. This is an orange tree. So here's what's happening in our tale of the 3 trees. So this is a community of people living together. And the reason these trees are so important is because they can provide food for everybody in the community. However, Barb, who owns the fig tree, is hoarding all the water. Barb is hoarding all the water. And Barb's fig tree doesn't actually need a lot of water, but Barb is hoarding all the water. Benjamin's apple tree needs water, more water than this fig tree, and Benjamin does not have access to as much water as Barb has. And Lucy's orange tree needs a lot of water, and Lucy's orange tree is not getting so much water that Lucy has brown leaves on her orange tree because the leaves are not getting all the water that they need, and we don't even see any oranges yet. So what do y'all think we should do, all of you, in order to get the hoarder of the water who doesn't need as much water as everyone else? Like, why are you hoarding all this water anyway? First, let's see what the wisdom from the chancel floor has to say.
Well, first things first, if somebody was hoarding something, I guess you could technically just call the cops, or you could just ask them nicely to give it over. You just say, like, may you please give the water, and then they could give it, maybe.
Okay. So repeat what was offered.
So if somebody was hoarding everything that was needed, you could possibly call an authority such as the cops to say, hey, we need some of that resource to spread that resource out. Would that be accurate?
I don't know. What else? What's another? There's a person back there. Another potential solution about the hoarder of the water.
I'm thinking what you should do is just give everybody the water that they need and not any more than they need. And like everything should get what it needs to live.
What do you have to say about that?
My water.
Say that again, Barbara.
It's my water.
Right. So you might think that this hoarder of the water should give everybody what they need, but her response is?
It's my water.
Okay. What would you all, so you all need this water for your trees. What would you all do? What are your solutions? Benjamin, what would you want?
Go to the river and not take too much water, but not too less water. Like, not this much, but not this much.
Right, but here's the thing. Barb has the river and is hoarding all the water at the river. What would you do then?
She won't let you get to the river.
She won't let you get to
the ocean.
Oh, you're going to go to the ocean. Okay.
But it takes so much time and so many resources to get to the ocean.
Right, yeah.
I would go on a plane.
Okay, but you'd leave your apple tree and go on a plane to get to the water that was needed. Hang on one second. What would you do?
Well, I would measure the amount of water that each plant needs, and then I would like split it up equally so each plant can live.
But Barbara's not allowing you to have the water. Oh, we don't want you to do that. What would be an act of justice?
I would ask for the water.
Okay, go over there and ask her for the water.
Barb, can I have some water?
Well, nobody has asked me nicely before, so
She's gonna give them equal amounts of water.
I'm gonna give you each equal amounts of water. Is that okay?
Well, but wait. Here's the thing, though. Do you need the same amount of water as Barb needs?
No, I need more.
You need more. And what did Barb say she was going to do?
Same amount of water.
So what's the problem there?
Well, her plant is still going to be more healthy.
So what would you do?
I would share water with Lucy.
But not with Barb. She has a lot. Okay, but you don't have any, but so Barb has the water. What would you do?
She said she would give us equal amounts, so
So what would you ask her instead?
can you give Lucy a little more than me and give me just a little less?
Sure. Why is that?
Because I need a less amount of water than Lucy.
I didn't realize that when I offered the water.
Okay. There was a hand up over here. Did you have something to say?
Yes, I did. You could debate with her.
Could debate with her.
Yeah.
Okay. But
or
with
you
that,
could buy the river from her.
you could what?
You could also buy the river from her.
Could buy the river from her.
And
That's
then share with
interesting.
everybody else.
And share with everybody else. Okay, that's a solution. We have one here.
Or you could just go to the lake.
Go to the lake. So there's like lots of alternatives that everybody's offering here. Yes?
Or just say please.
Or just say please. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it can work sometimes.
Maybe you could just wait for rain to fall.
Wait for rain to fall. Okay, but wait a minute. Like in California, there was a drought and rain wasn't falling, so water became precious, which is why part of the reason why Barb is hoarding the water. But that's a good idea, though.
If like you're giving them both like 1 cup, and the apple tree, Ben only needs half a cup, and then Lucy needs a cup and a half, then Ben could just like give her half of his cup, and then.
Okay, I love this thinking. This is great.
I'm loving this thinking too, and I'm just reminding you
Yes,
about
I
the
know,
time.
the time.
That's
Okay,
part of my job.
Why don't you portion out the water so that everybody gets what they need? There's actually water in that pitcher, you know. You want me to use it? You can. Okay. Yeah, it's real water, look. She needs more than he did. Okay, not that much. And then, I don't want to kill the tree. I look at Beth over here looking at the plants. It's like I don't want to be guilty. Did you need some for your fig tree? Okay. So everybody got what they need. That's equity. Thank you. So, you know, I love this because some of it is thinking, yes.
So another way they could have gotten water, if she didn't want to shampoo, was that they could have gotten it from the rain.
Right, the lake, yes, yeah. We're going to have to, we're going to have another part, so we'll get a chance to do some other things, or have some more of you participate. But that's equity. Equity is giving people what they need, and I think one of our wise ones said that everybody gets what they need with equity. There's some interesting problem solving going on here, and I think sometimes we have to maybe even think about the ways that we're solving our problems and whether or not they have unintended consequences. And Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into all of this, as I think our children so well demonstrated. But one of the things that, well, we're going to take a pause for a minute, right?
Yeah.
A very short pause for a second, and just kind of settle down and think about that, because then we have another piece to do.
I'm just looking at what they say.
Okay, so in this next part, we're going to think about what would I do, I meaning you, all of you, what would we do as individuals when we come up towards a sense,
You're good.
oh, we come up towards a sense of injustice. And there's a new book that's come out called Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul, How to Change the World in Quiet Ways. Yeah?
But before you say that,
Okay.
I'm going to suggest that
Okay.
our small ones, we're going to hand you some pieces of paper and some markers. And I want you to start thinking about situations that you might think are unjust, or things that were unjust, like, or, you know, where you might want peace. Is there a situation where people don't have enough? And we're going to ask you to just think of those of you who can write words, think of some big words that you might put on these posters while Reverend Jacqueline is talking.
Yeah, and there will be some other people to help you put a word on the poster if you're having trouble thinking of one or aren't able to write a big word about something that is unjust that you want to write about. So our greeters are passing out posters. I think we have enough for everybody, or almost everyone who wants one. If you don't want one, that's okay. So in the book, Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul, the author says that many of us long to help the world bend toward justice, as Martin Luther King Jr. puts it. However, our culture's image of the social justice warrior being someone who is fiery, who's loud, who's unapologetically confrontational, limits who can participate and how it is done, because we have only one vision of what that might mean. So some people would back away from doing acts of justice because they think that they have to do it one particular way, and that because they can't do it that way, they might not do it at all. And so once all of the kids have some paper, how many of you grown-ups might want to put a word about an injustice on a piece of paper? Because you're participating too. Here's one right here, Jan. Grown-ups, come on, grown-ups. Let's see y'all participate. Here's one right here. There's one all the way in the back. That's Addison in the back. Green shirt, did you want one? I see you, like, very animated. No? Okay. Okay, we have one over here. Okay. Okay, so we could use some helpers down here if anyone wants to help the kids spell out what they need. Or they might draw pictures. So one of the reasons why I thought this was really important to talk about was because one of the things that we UU ministers, when we're becoming ministers, and this is called formation, one of the things that we're told is that we have to pass muster by having a prophetic voice in the public square. And I remember thinking at the time, that's not me. Why do I have to do that? I like being in the pulpit with the congregation. I don't necessarily want to be out in public. That's not me. I'm not an activist. And I got challenged on that by people who said, you sound like you are judging what activists are, and you have a limited view of what activism is. And I realized that I did, because everyone that I admired, I'd participated in marches and so on, but I didn't think I could lead one, or that I could rally people together to do a march. And then I realized that my vision of what activism was very, very limited. Are you all able to focus? Okay. All right. And so here's the thing. There are many ways that we can show up as an activist. You know, I think some of the most amazing ways that we show up as an activist is through the arts, you know, through art, through music, through dance, through writing plays, through writing poetry. And very often, that form of activism actually touches people in a way that marches might not, although marches are very important. Other ways of showing up, you could just be being in a space. So while I was showing up on the Roe v. Wade anniversary, I wasn't the speaker, but I was there. And the same thing with when I showed up in that eviction court. I was there, you know, and that was very important, that my body was in the space and that was my show of activism. What are some other ways that some of you might have engaged in activism that might not? Yes. Boycotting things. Yeah. But not the figs. Don't buy the figs. Don't buy the figs because of the person hoarding the water. Okay, yes. Get out the vote. Anything else? There was somebody over here. Yes, Betsy. Educating. What else? Raising money. Right, writing advocacy, writing concerns to legislatures and politicians. There was somebody over here who had something to say. Protest the war. Which war? All awards. All awards, yes.
Having curiosity for the people who oppose your views.
Having curiosity for the people who oppose your views. Yeah, that's really important. Yes. Publicize, speak up, tell your friends, everyone you know about a particular issue so that they can get engaged. Hang on one second. Yes. Living by example. Can you speak a little? Planting trees in communities that need them, right? Yes. 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 Yes, offering childcare and for people who are actually going out to do the actions. Actually, we've had some people in our immigration and refugee action group when some of our people there were other groups that we were allied with who were accompanying people to court, and our people actually watched children of those parents as they were heading to court. Yes.
Decide where you're going to spend your money. Vote with your dollars.
Vote with your dollars. Yes. All right. How we doing, kiddos? Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, let me get around here. All right.
We got some stuff over here.
Okay. Do you want to say the prayer?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right. Isn't this fun? I'm having fun. I'm sorry if you were expecting a full sermon, but I'm having fun. I think this is a sermon. We're making the sermon together.
So I'm wondering if everybody on the floor right now who has a sign, if you could hold that up so people in the congregation could see them. People in the congregation, hold with you that it is a little hard sometimes to magnify the words to a size you can see. Oh, can you turn yours around so they can see the other side? Perfection. And you'll see, oh, could you turn yours around the other way so they can see?
Let's turn it that way.
You'll see some of the injustices, and you'll see some of the thoughts on ways that maybe we can bring people together. Some of it is ideas of just that bringing people together is an important piece. So we're going to enter into a time of meditation, and I just want you to think about some of these words that are on these posters. Just think about some of these words that are on these posters, some of these things that we could use more of in our world, some of the challenges in our world. And could I ask everybody, everybody in the room maybe to stand up together. Let's rise in body or spirit. If you don't want to stand, don't stand. But join us in what I'm going to ask us to do in our standing. And if you have a poster, just put it down for a sec, but keep those words in your head. And take a big breath in. And let it out. And I use my hands when I do this sometimes. So we'll take a breath in. And take a breath out. And I want you to hold your hands like you're holding something precious in them. Something you don't want to break. Something you want to make sure we take care of. Because we're going to hold some caring for some people who are in our congregation right now. So sometimes we don't know what people are holding and we need to hold for them. Sometimes we do. So we're holding all those things that people have told us are hard. We're holding all the things that people have told us are good, and all the things that people haven't told us. We're holding Susan Morton and her family after her father, John Gatesy, has died. We're holding Melissa Everly Kosak after the death of her mother. We're holding all those people who are having a hard time or a hard day. And we're also going to hold all those people who are having a really great day and are feeling a lot of love and possibility. And with that, let's take a big breath in. And we're going to breathe out a lot of good will and kindness. And today, let that be our meditation and our prayer. And if you would like to sit back down, so we might have a little song for our meditation and prayer. Welcome to Mark.
can come back to your signs if you had some. So individual acts of justice are important, but do we think individual acts of justice are enough? Come on, grown-ups. Okay. Help a sister out here. What do y'all think? Are individual acts of justice enough, just doing something by yourself? No. So I want you to grab up those signs. Grab your sign. And we're going to go on a little march around the sanctuary to let all the grown-ups know about the things that you're concerned about. So I'm going to stand here, and Reverend Jim will help y'all make a line, and we're going to head up this way. So come on, come on. Bring your sign, hold your sign up in the air. Let's get us some music, Kate. No, some civil rights marching music. Yeah. All right. Okay, we can do two at a time. Why don't we do two at a time? Because there's so many of us. Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay. Come on. You can come. Okay. Want me to take your sign? Or do you want to join us?
Yes, Jacqueline.
Look at the littles. Hi. Do you want to come with me? No? Okay. You want to join us?
Time for me? Yes. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Reverend Jim has what we're all waiting for, really, which is our story. And we are past 12, so if you need to leave, I understand, but I have your kids. If you need to take them, I'm enjoying your children. If you need to take them, though, I understand if you have to go. People have things to do, places to go. But anyway.
So we have one final story. And for all of us down here, you know, if you are finishing up a poster, you are free to keep doing that while you listen. If you want to turn your eyes this way, that's okay. I've got pictures here. The pictures are up there. But this is a story. Sometimes when we come together to do a thing, it's not easy. And even like before we noticed with the trees, was like, what's an idea that'll work? And the person who's hoarding the water is like, no, I'm still hoarding the water, sorry. Or, there's an idea about, let's go here for water. It's like, well, that would take resources. Do we have the resources to do that? It can be challenging. And sometimes it is really challenging to come together. And sometimes it can even be scary, even if it's a good thing. And so our story today, and this is one we've done in worship before, is about the Children's March in Birmingham, Alabama, a time when children actually marched and protested. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to get a little scary at some points. And it's a real story, too. 1963, Birmingham, Alabama. Our main character is in the center of the cover. I couldn't play on the same playground as the white kids. I couldn't go to their schools. I couldn't drink from their water fountains. There were so many things I couldn't do, like you said, actually. You were mentioning some of that. One warm spring night, my family went to church. We weren't there to have regular services. We were there to hear Dr. King speak. We were there to plan. Have any of you ever gone to a church or a spiritual place to plan a protest? Or plan what to do? No. He wanted to raise an army of peaceful protesters to fight for freedom. His brown eyes flashing fire and love. Dr. King told us the time had come to march. Notice he's not doing it all by himself. He's getting everybody together. If I march, Mama said, I'll lose my job, sure enough. If I can't march, Daddy said, I've got a family to feed. And that's true. They were afraid that they might get arrested for marching and lose their jobs. Because some marches you go to, they're pretty simple. And you'd be okay if somebody didn't like that you were marching. But some marches, people would get arrested just for marching. Does that sound fair? No. The weight of the world rested on our parents' shoulders, but this burden, this time, did not have to be theirs to bear. I don't have a boss to fear, my brother said, or a job to lose. We can march this time. We'll be Dr. King's army, I said. I'll be fine, Daddy, I promised. Don't worry, Mama. So they were going to march. Dr. King didn't like children being put in harm's way. He was a daddy, too, after all. Did you know Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had children? Yeah. Now, they're old now. They're like the adult's age. They're all of this adult's age now. But they were children back then. But he said that though we were young, we were not too young to want our freedom. On May 2nd, a sunny Thursday, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, cousins and friends, we all met at the church, dressed in our best, feet ready. And they began to march. Our main character, she wonders, would I be hurt? Would we be heard? Would it be worth it in the end? I wanted to run from the angry faces in the crowd. Run from danger, run from fear. Now, this next page is where it gets kind of scary. And it was scary for the people who were marching. Hate dogged my heels all that day, its yellowed canine teeth sharp, but courage walked by my side and kept me going. Dogs can be really nice, but can they also be scary? Sometimes. And these were scary dogs. People had hoses turned on them, which, if you're in the backyard and it's a green hose in the summer, hoses can be fun. But also people can use hoses to hurt people. If you turn the water way up, it can be really painful. And that's what happened to these protesters, because people didn't, often the people in these stories, like white people in the country, wanted to fight them, didn't want them to have justice and fairness. So disperse or you'll be jailed, the police shouted the first day. Disperse or you'll get wet, the police shouted the second day. Disperse or we'll release the dogs, the police shouted the third day. We did not disperse. We kept on marching. We wouldn't stop until things started to change. Now, is every protest like this? No, but some of them are. So it's good to know if you were to go to a protest, you kind of want to think about it beforehand and be like, is this going to, which one's going to be safer? Also, this was back in the 60s, but there are still some protests that are still pretty hard sometimes and could be scary. Hundreds of us went to jail on the first day. Have I mentioned that you can go to, people at that time especially, could get jailed for protesting, and even now sometimes do. And even more on the second. My turn wasn't until the third day. And she talks about being sprayed by water stronger than anything she'd ever felt, and going to jail. Dr. King reassured our parents, "Don't worry about your children," he said. "They're going to be all right. Don't hold them back if they want to go to jail. They're doing a job for not only themselves, but for all of America and for all mankind." So I would say, don't go to protests like this, without talking to your parents about it. Definitely talk to your parents if you're going to protest. Definitely plan it with them. That night, crowded into a cell too small for even half of the kids, we sang, "We shall overcome, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, and freedom is coming." Our parents couldn't be there with us, but we still sang, wrapped in the proud and loving arms of our ancestors. And you know what? I bet those kids helped each other out too. And they helped take care of each other and keep each other not as scared. Do you think all of this made a difference? Yeah. Well, we're going to see. I was still in jail, but we heard that the next day and the next, more kids marched. The water hoses they used to sting us could not stop our fierce tide. People watching it on TV. Turn the other cheek, we had been taught. Do you know what that means? It kind of means don't fight back. Like if somebody does something mean to you, you don't do something mean back. You try and find a different way. Show love where there is hate. The world watched as hate bruised us, but for 7 days we walked only in love, the jail swelling to bursting, and even President Kennedy took notice. Daddy said the president received letters and calls about us from all over the world. Our march would become a memory, a tiny part of a larger story, but we had been heard, and the seeds of revolution were sown. Because I'm going to tell you, in my mind, when children speak up for a thing, and when youth speak up for a thing, sometimes people listen a lot better than when adults speak up for a thing. What would you say to that, adults? When children start and youth start talking about a thing, sometimes that's when people really get the point. 2 days and nights I stayed in the jail. Some children stayed even longer. When I left, I was tired and sore, and my best dress was ripped, but my smile was as wide as the Mississippi River. I had made a difference. "I'm so proud of you, baby girl," Mama said. "Your march was what made them see. With nothing more than our feet, our voices, and our courage, we had done what others could not. Change was right around the corner. We felt it like a cool breeze in an Alabama August. On May 10th, the great news rang out. Dr. King had reached an agreement with the white leaders of the city. Desegregation would begin. And desegregation means they would start allowing people of all races to mix and do things together and not have to be separated. And so things like this can make a big change. Not everybody has to do the same thing, too. It takes a little bit of all of us doing a little bit of all of it together. Because not everybody can march, right? Right? Some people can't, and that's okay. So it's all of us finding out, what are the things we can do to really help make a difference? 1 month later, I was playing on a playground I'd never been allowed to play on before. 2 months later, my family ate at a diner we'd never been allowed to eat in before. Our march made the difference. We children led the way. And they probably made a really big impact on the civil rights movement by doing that march. And it was also scary. So sometimes it takes a lot of courage to speak out about a thing. And sometimes you got to figure out what's the right way for you to help. For these children in this story, they marched and were very brave. And I think with that is our story, and I pass it back to you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. It takes all of us to make this happen, right? It doesn't matter what our background is. Sometimes we come out to do a thing, even though we are not necessarily that person or group of people, but we go anyway to show our support, to show up. And so that's an important thing to do. In this community, it takes a lot for us to be beloved community together. What we have here is very precious, it's very important, and I believe we are headed in the right direction. And so if the greeters, as the greeters come forward, they're going to to collect up this morning's offering. But I say that in all seriousness. We all do this together, so whatever you can give, it allows us to do work not only within these walls, but as we go out beyond these walls as well. So, and if you don't have anything to put in the pouch, you can point your device to the QR code, and it will lead you right to our giving portal. What is that sound? What is that sound?
I forgot to go down in peace.
Oh.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, it's all right. That's all right. What is that sound? That's feedback. I think it's...
Gotta get there.
Hearing aid. It's a... all of the joys of being in community together, all of the gifts of being in community together, especially the gifts of our children. And we're going to have a little go now in peace as you all go back to your grown-ups that you're here with. And can we have a little go now in peace? Oh, yeah. Okay. We're over the world. Yes. Yes. I am so not. We'll talk later.
Please rise, embody your spirit for our closing hymn, which is I've Got Peace Like a River, number 100 in the gray hymnal, but I think you know the words, and they're on the screen. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops, I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain, I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul.
Leaned over to me and said, "Welcome to my world." I actually loved it. I loved it. And I hope you loved it too. And I am so totally not in control. So we're late. I apologize. And I had a lot of fun. So I hope you can appreciate that. I hope you did too. I want to introduce a new member of our staff who did not know I was going to do this to her. And this is Gabby Cassini. Come on up, Gabby, and face this way. Gabby is our new coordinator of the nursery so that we can make sure that we have nursery on Sunday mornings. So give her a welcome. Thank you, Gabby. And she came here just to check out worship, and I got her really busy really fast. But anyway, Closing words today are from Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who says, "Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing," I also think not calm thing sometimes, "that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good." So my friends, please go in peace, go in love. May we work individually and collectively to do what we can to address what's not fair, to create justice and equity for all. Amen. Blessed be Ashe.